Hello, welcome to my hotel. I feel like I don't want to talk too loud because everyone might be able to hear me, but that's okay. I was upgraded into a bougie room because the room key that they gave me, it was just like a regular double room, and it was trashed, but not in a like someone's been murdered here kind of trash. It was just like garbage and the beds weren't made, and it was like, it's fine. I'm not gonna go make a big fuss. And so I just go tell them, I'm like, hey, might need a different room. And he's like, ooh, I'm gonna upgrade you. So I got this bougie one. Like, look at that. Like, it's like a whole living room. What am I gonna do with all this space? I thought maybe there would be a jacuzzi, but there's not. Also, it's like right in the heart of the city, and I am not a city gal. I'm also not a country gal. I'm just a gal. No, I like the city. I don't like driving my giant van in the city. And there's all these one-ways and everything is under construction, allegedly, like, and everywhere, I'm like, I'm just not accustomed to the city life, but I figured it out. No, and then I need to work on my pitch for this. Okay, I was practicing in the car and I think I almost have it. I'm just gonna write it down once so that I know what the order of everything. Good morning. I'm actually feeling good. I mean, my entire body is shaking, but that's fine. That's normal, right? Yeah, okay. So it is 7. The earliest that you're supposed to arrive is 8:45, which is hard for me. I've been up since 6. I tried to not be, but I am. Or since like 5:30, actually. Still debating about my hair. This is just down, which is fine. My hair does not matter. Okay. I just want to present myself well. So my sessions are at, so there's like 5 workshop, like keynote kind of things throughout the day. My first pitch is at 11:50, and then my second pitch is at, 10:50, and then my second pitch is at 11:20. So I probably won't go to anything between those unless I just want to slip. Like, it's like there's 3 rooms next to each other and you just kind of walk in and out depending on if you have a pitch or not. I've been practicing my pitch like a madwoman, just repeating it. I'm not as worried about that as, like, that's one of my natural skills is to present myself in that kind of a way in like a one-on-one setting. So I know even if I mess up my pitch, which I will not do, I can come back from it. Like, I have done speech, like I feel confident in that. I feel confident that I can talk to a person, you know? Like, it's very difficult to present yourself in that way, but that's something I've had a lot of training in. Now that I say that, it'll probably go horribly. No, okay, it'll be fun. I'm really trying to go in with a good attitude of learning. It will be fine. It will be good. I think it's similar to querying, where because you're in this position where somebody might say yes, it's easy to get into the mindset of expecting them to say yes, or like hoping and setting an expectation like, if today goes well, that means I will get a yes, or like a request or something. I don't know. But I need to, even if I tell myself to change my expectation, I will still be hoping for a yes. Like, I think it's pretty normal to hope for a yes, but I'm trying to convince myself that even if it's all no's, and even if they get my page and rip it to shreds, that it will still be a successful day. Well, let me just walk you through today. So I'm going to a session in the morning that I will probably gather none of because my pitch is right at the end of that session in a different room. So I have my 2 pitches kind of in the morning, then I'll go to a full session, then it's lunch. Then there's the Writers Got Talent, which is they'll anonymously read some first pages, which I don't even know if my page will be in that. I'm submitting them to be, but it's anonymous and like not guaranteed that it's yours. I'll do that. And then there's 2 sessions after that. And so kind of after that Writers Got Talent session, it's just like soaking in information. The rising sun is blinding me. I have so much to update you on. Let me just walk you through the day. Okay, that seems like the easiest course of action here. Is my running car gonna be a problem? You guys watch out, I'm in a parking garage, so just make sure there's no murderers behind me. You're on that, so keep track of that. It was so good. So surreal. It's just a surreal experience. So it was quite well attended. There were probably like 150 people there. It's a smaller conference. Met a lot of cool people. Like, people were awkward but easy to talk to because you can just ask like, hey, what are you writing? You know? And then it kind of goes from there. So that was good. My pitch sessions were at 10:20 and 11:20. And how it goes is 10 minutes before you set your session, you stand in the hallway with everybody else going in. And it's in this room where it's like a conference. It's like a big, convention center room with tables. Kind of like if you've ever been to a chess tournament, that's kind of how they're spaced out. And so at the end of then right like 30 seconds before your pitch, you go and stand next to the chair of the person who's pitching them, and then you switch because it has to be exactly 10 minutes. I did my little pitch that I had really practiced too many times. She was really receptive to it. We kind of just talked about different things that were in the book, different things that were on her manuscript wish list. Like, I kind of addressed some of the things that she said and how they related to my book, and the agent requested a full, so that's good. She was just so sweet and nice and immediately like so interested in the book, and like she started laughing during it was correct. My pitch, I tried to be like, things obviously go wrong, and she was like laughing, and then it like interrupted me because I was like, oh, you're interested in what I'm saying, you think I'm funny. So, and it's just so surreal because it just really reinforces, like, these are just real people, They're looking for specific things. If you can manage to be that specific thing. And so right after my pitch, she said, I'd love to hear more. Here's this link where you can submit. And then she like paused and she was like, I'll have you submit the full. And I was like, oh, so she wants me to submit the full? Okay. And we just talked about weddings. I just asked her some basic like agent questions of like, what turns you off in a manuscript, like that kind of thing. So that was exciting. And then my second pitch was an hour later. And as I was sitting down, she was like, just so you know, like, I'm open for queries. You can query me after this and just say that she was essentially telling me I'm not going to ask you for pages or not ask you for pages. Like, I'm not doing that, kind of a thing. So that was good to know right away. Like, that was as I was sitting down. And so I gave her my pitch, and we actually ended up having a really interesting conversation about genre, which is always stressful, but good. She was just talking about how my pitch sort of sounds like a cozier thriller, and like that, have I ever thought about pitching it as a cozy? And then we kind of talked about how, I pushed back a little saying, I like to go dark. I feel like darker, and like I feel like cozies lack stakes sometimes. And she was talking about how thrillers in general are becoming a lot darker. And so cozies are becoming darker too, like they're having higher stakes. She wasn't definitively saying like you need to turn it into a cozy, but it was just interesting to think about. I mean, I do write very voicey. We'll get there. And voicey, I've heard in a negative connotation. Everyone talking about it today seemed to be using voicey in a positive connotation. So, not sure what's up with that. But anyway, but then she said at the end, she's like, be sure to send me more. So I'll be querying her as well. I'm going to take that as a request. Okay. Then I went to a couple sessions of like agents talking about cool things. The only complaint I have is that there were 2 couches and nothing else. So there was in the sessions there was seating, but there wasn't a lot of seating really at all. So that was a little stressful on my back. But after lunch was the Writers Got Talent segment, where at the beginning of the conference, you can bring 9 copies of your first page without your name on it, just having the genre at the top. And then there will be a panel of agents. It's sort of like American Idol, or like America's Got Talent. Oh, that's why they call it that, because it's the same. So what happened was there was 5 agents, I think, on the panel, and the facilitator of the event read the page out loud. And then when an agent would stop reading or has enough to give feedback, they would raise their hand. And so when 3 people raised their hand, they would stop reading. And there was like 150, or I don't know, like a lot of pages. And mine was read, and they made it all the way to the end without X's. Okay, one lady put her hand up, but I'll explain that in a second. So yeah, it made it all the way to the end. People were laughing. It is a thriller, but it is voicier.
And so what they said about it, the lady who raised her hand said, a logistical thing, which I think is funny because in the opening image of the book, the main character is a DJ and she's in the back of the ceremony running sound in the ceremony. And someone comes in the back of the church or the ceremony space and she turns around and she's like, hey, and they have this encounter, and that's all you need to know. So she said, I was pulled out because why would a wedding DJ be at the ceremony? And she said, like, the voice was good. That's just why I raised my hand, because that's something that pulled me out, right? But one of the agents said that it was clear it was very voicey and she wanted to spend more time with my character. One agent specifically said, this was the one who I had pitched, and she had been talking about Cozy, that agent, said that she really liked my last line of my page. Like, it was all very positive, which was exciting. And there were, like, probably 50 a page, maybe, like, 30 first pages read, and, like, not all of them got to the end. And I would say most had at least a few things that they were like, there's something structurally, or like, but they all said they really liked the opening and the character and the first page, and they would keep reading, and I am just on top of the world. So that was really exciting. It was just really encouraging and helpful to know that all of this research I've been doing about what works and what agents are looking for is actually helping me get further. So I'll be sending those fulls to those agents. And there was another agent on the panel who I didn't pitch, but I was looking, and she does rep thriller, and she specifically had commented about my voice. So I'm probably going to query her as well. Yeah. So that was exciting. That was kind of a lot of information. I'll probably have more reflections on it later, but it's one of those events, specifically with the full request, that, like, maybe they just ask everyone for everything, you know? But I'm not going to think that. Okay. Bye for now.